Hello everyone, my name is Zinisha Vaishnani. I am from MLV Textile and Engineering College, Bhilwara, and I am presenting a seminar report on blockchain technology. I take immense pleasure in presenting the summary report on blockchain technology with deep sense of gratitude. I would like to thank each and every person who has contributed toward the successful completion of the report work. I owe a special thank to my report guide Mr. Himanshu Chhabra. It was an immensely rewarding experience working with him. I am also thankful to HOD Mr. Ritesh Saraswat and all the faculty members for giving me such a golden opportunity to present on it. So now let me tell you about my seminar report. It is based on blockchain. So the meaning of blockchain is to understand the power of blockchain system and the things they can do it. It is important to distinguish between three things that are commonly muddled up, namely the Bitcoin currency, the specific blockchain that underpins it, the idea of blockchain in general. So, what is blockchain technology? Blockchain, sometimes referred to a distributed ledger technology (DLT), makes the history of any digital asset unalterable and transparent through the use of decentralization and cryptographic hashing. A simple analogy for understanding blockchain technology is a Google Doc. When we created a document and share it with a group of people, the document is distributed instead of copying and transfer. This is create a decentralization distribution chain that gives everyone access to the document at the same time. So we are taking a Google Doc example to understand the blockchain technology. No one is logged out awaiting change from another party, while all modification to the doc are being recorded in real time. Make changes completely transparent. So, of course, blockchain is more complicated than a Google Doc, but the analogy is similar because it illustrates three critical ideas of technology, which is Bitcoin currency, the specific blockchain that underpins it, and the idea of blockchains in general. So, the definition of blockchain is a technology that permits transaction to be gathered into blocks and recorded cryptographically, change block in chronological order and allow the resulting ledger to be accessed by different servers. So blockchain explained a quick overview. Like let me explain a quick overview about blockchain to make us better understand what blockchain actually is. So digital assets are distributed instead of copying or transferred. The assist is decentralized, allowing full real-time access. A transparent ledger of changing preserves integrity of the document, which created trust in the assist. Blockchain is an especially promising and revolutionary technology because it helps reduce risk, stamps out fraud, and bring transparency in scalable way of Midray uses. So, how does blockchain work? The whole point of using a blockchain is to let people, in particular people who don't trust one another, share valuable data in a secure, tamper-proof way. So, it MIT Technology Review, but blockchain consists of three important concepts, which is block, nodes, and miners. So we will discuss each and every part and each and every concept of blockchain in detail. So blockchain technology store all its transaction onto a public database. Like uh, blockchain technology uses bitcoins, and bitcoin stores all transaction onto a public database called as blockchain. So blockchain is nothing but chaining or transaction with each another. We will see this in further slides. So moving further, we will discuss that how block looks like. So in this picture, in this slide, there are a, there are some block made, and we'll discuss each and every block. So there are, as we can see in our screen, there are four blocks: block 98, block 99, block 100, and block 101, which is connected to a proof of work hash. So there are three compartments. First, the basic validation; second, the Merkle; and third, transaction ID list. So every transaction which we are making, it will generate to a hash, and which is create a block, and every block has its own identification, and which identity and this identification will help us to create a chain, and every chain will make a block separated to another block, and even they are interconnected. So in this picture, we can see there are version info, nonce, previous block, and times m, which is the ID validation. And moving further, there are transaction ID list, which is interconnected to our block and previous block. So this is interconnection between a block and hashing them to a previous block. So this is how a block looks like. Let me more prescribe that what is block. Every chain consists of multiple blocks, and each block has three basic elements. First of all, the data in the block. So as we know, the block obviously containing some sort of data. A 32-bit whole number called a nonce. The nonce is randomly generated when a block is created, which then generates a block header hash. The hash is a 256-bit number. We did two nonce. It must start with a huge number of zeros, IB extremely smalls. When first block of chain is created, a nonce generate the cryptographic hash. The data in the block is considered signed and forever tied to the nonce and hash unless is it minus. So let us move further. So the basic concepts of blockchain. So there are four basic concepts of blockchain, which is distributed shared ledger, cryptography, coincidence, and smart contracts. So we can consider these four concepts as a pillar of blockchains. So there are four pillar of blockchains, which is distributed shared ledgers, cryptography, coincidence, and smart contracts. We will discuss further in this slide about all these concepts. And so building trust with blockchain. So how can we build a trust with blockchain technology? So there are simple and smarter ways, which is distributed and sustainable, secure and private and inviolable, transparent and auditable, consequence based and transactional, orchestrated and flexible. So these are some parameters which made us trust blockchain. So moving further, why it is called blockchain? So as we can see, every term we are using blockchain in every term by creating a block. But why we are using blockchain? As we can see, we created a block, but how it made a chain? So let us discuss in this slide. In this slide, as we can see, there are three blocks: block 1574, block 1575, block 1576, and every block has block hash, previous block hash, transaction. Every block has these three parameters. So as we can see, block 1574 has a block hash and a previous block hash, and block 1575 has its own block hash, but previous block hash is the same as block hash of 1574. So as we can see, the block hash of 1574 is same in the block hash of 1575, and it is interconnected with a previous block hash. So every block hash is moving further become a previous block hash in a next block. So it interconnected of blocking system. So this is why it is called blockchain. So blockchain has many meanings. Let us discuss like how many meanings blockchain has. So talking about our phone, the idea of a phone network, a specific phone network, example AT&T, a specific use of the phone network. All these things can happen in blockchain. Or we can say that by using blockchain technology, it will make easier to use our phone. And another blockchain, the idea of blockchain, the specified blockchain that underlies Bitcoin or another coin offering Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency. So moving further, there are some meanings of our blockchain. So as we can see, there are a picture in which is named centralized ledger and distributed ledger. So in left hand side we have centralized ledger. In centralized ledger we have sum of clients, client A, client B, client C, and client D, which is connected through a common bank. So all the center of all the clients is blank bank. So we can say that bank is the center ledger of all the clients. So every requirement of clients will be fulfilled by one bank. But apart from that, in distributed ledger, we have some sort of nodes, and each node is connected to each other, like node A, node B, node C, node D, node E. We have five nodes in distributed ledger. So each and every node is connected to each other. So node A is interconnected with node E and furtherly connected with node B. So without interconnecting, without chaining, we can't use blockchain. So there is must be a connection with a previous hash and a complete block hash. So this is called chaining, and blockchain concept is work on distributed ledger concept. Like blockchain is definitely work on distributed ledger concept, and which is having a single entity. As we can see, node A having its own single entity, but it's connected with node B and node E at the same time. And even we will talk about node B, it is also having a single entity, but it is connected with node C and the previous hash node A. So node B having is its own hash, but it is connected with node A's entity or node A previous hash, and it will be provide a new previous hash to node C. So this is how it works. So let us discuss the that how distributed ledger work. So whenever user initiate any transaction using bitcoins, as we all know that blockchain use bitcoin currency. So any transaction happen or user initiate any transaction, it will broadcast in nodes. Like suppose anyone can initiate any transaction, so it will be broadcast in nodes, and then that node will be validated at the same time. So after validation, after making nodes, after validation of nodes, there are converted into blocks. Nodes validation transaction to blocks. Then after converted into blocks, blockchain to prior block, and then consequent protocol use, and then node broadcast to each other. And this is how a ledger work, and this is how we can make some sort of chain and blockchain. Moving further, here we have, so many of you having some sort of questions like why blockchain use cryptography. So there are many reasons, but three are listed here: broadcasting of transaction, validation of transaction, and chaining blocks. So there are three reasons that we are using cryptography in blockchain. which is broadcasting of transaction, validation of transaction, and changing blocks. In broadcasting of transaction, we are using digital signatures, private and public keys. In validation of transaction, we are using proof of work, certain alternatives. In changing block, we are using hash function, and by using hash function, we are providing a hash ID to every of its node, and it will be connected as a previous node to another block. So this is how we can use cryptography in blockchain. So power of distributed ledger is, it can be used without central authority by individual. It can be used to create values. It can be used to transfer values. It can be used to record transfer of values. It can be used to allow owner of assets to exercise certain rights associated with ownership, and to record the exercise of those rights. So we have discussed a lot. So let us move further. We have discussed block. Now we will discuss about miners. So miners create a new block on the chain through a process called mining. In a blockchain, every block has its own unique nonce and hash. We have all discussed in previous slide, but also reference the hash of the previous block in the chain. So mining a block isn't easy, especially on a large chain. So that generate an accepted hash because the nonce is only 32 bits and the hash is 256. There are roughly 4 math safety. So making a change to any block early in the chain requires remining not just the block with the change but all blocks that come after. This is why it's extremely difficult to manipulate blockchain technology. Think of it as safety in math, since finding golden nonsense require an enormous amount of time and computing power. So this is blockchain technology. Thank you.